Hi, it's Jessica Brace, and welcome to another episode of the Perfect Client Attraction Summit. And today we have Gary Kissel, and I am so excited that he's here today because he is going to talk to us about LinkedIn. He is the premier LinkedIn strategist who has come to me so many times. I've had people, oh, if you want to work on LinkedIn, you got to talk to Gary. Gary, call Gary, that guy Gary down in Florida, Gary. And I'm like, who is Gary? So when I was doing this summit, I'm like, I'm going to call Gary because I needed a spot on LinkedIn. I'll be honest, I have a ton of connections on LinkedIn, well over I don't know, 1,000, a couple thousand, something like that.
That's good.
Just by nature, people want to connect with me, and I did, but I've never done anything with it. So I'm really looking forward to today's episode so that I can learn a little bit better how to monetize that and how I can use LinkedIn to attract more of my perfect clients. So, hi, Gary.
Hi, that's an awesome intro. I hope I live up to it.
Yes. So I keep hearing your name all the time. The Abigail and other people like, Gary's doing a workshop. Are you going? And I'm like, no. And who's Gary?
Well, keep spreading the word.
Gary was in vacation in Ecuador today.
Correct, mundo. Yes.
So quite a ways away, and we have good internet, and we're going to pray to the internet gods that they keep us stable so we can do our video interview.
Absolutely.
And, we'll make it work. Awesome. Mm-hmm. So you actually sent me an email, which was cute in that you said you researched me.
I did a bit, yes. I looked at your Google Hangout with Janet Johnson, rather. And,
yes. Yes, I actually almost forgot. That was the only puppet interview I've ever done.
I did one with them too, and it was the same for me, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were great. And it was funny when you said the question, oh, I saw that you were with Janet and Kimmy. And I was like, wow.
Exactly.
Somebody Googled me.
Well, if people want an education, I mean, that's a good series to go to because they cover every aspect of social media in their discussions. So I would recommend it.
And they make it fun.
And they make it fun.
Which is the most part. I've been to some trainings, which is like, really?
Yeah, like, is this over?
Is this done? It's 10 minutes and I'm done.
I hear you.
So, but yeah. Awesome. So you've been involved with LinkedIn for a while. I mean, how long for real? And what made you get started with LinkedIn out of everything else that we have today?
Well, I've been involved over 5 years. And what got me started was that I left the corporate world and I wanted to build a real estate business. So I'm a realtor as well as, some other hats that I wear. But it just made sense to me that this was the platform to use because it's professional. It has a higher income on average, and it's just the place that my ideal client seems to hang out. And that was the premise that I used, and it in fact turned out to be the reality when I started looking for investors and cash buyers and people in real estate, and they started buying properties from me here in Florida.
Awesome. So it's pretty much worked out for you for real estate and other things. And you've been around for a while. When did you start with LinkedIn? Because it's been there for a while, but it's really been the point now that, people are using it for business and saying, hey, this is really worth your time. And, I'm having tremendous success with it.
Yeah. Well, again, it was over 5 years ago. So it was still at that point pretty much a job finding site. It's evolved tremendously over the past 5 years. It's become a lot more visual, and there's a lot more aspects to it that help you really grow your business and be seen as an expert. And so those things have been all really exciting because as I think about LinkedIn, it just, in one word, it's opportunity. And I just see it continually to grow and expand in terms of where it wants to go as well.
So that's awesome. So 5 years, and I agree. I went in, looked at LinkedIn when it first came out, and I'm like, well, I'm not looking for a job. I've kind of bounced in and out over the years. Like, let me revisit LinkedIn and see what's going on. And then I saw groups, and you're supposed to start a group and do this. And then I was like, I have enough with Facebook, and I just never really paid attention that much until recently. What happened for me was I had a client who was very active on LinkedIn, who's a professional speaker, and he gave me a review on LinkedIn. And then all of a sudden I had all these people that I didn't meet trying to connect with me, asking me what I do, saying I checked out your website. And I was like, well, where did all that come from? And I'm like, wait a minute, I better start paying attention to LinkedIn.
Getting seen is a big deal, and there's ways to work it, and a lot of people I find, and this is the reason I really shifted my focus more from the real estate aspect to the coaching aspect, is that I just saw so many professionals just on there but not using it, and every day I would hear that terminology from people. Well, it just doesn't work for me because I don't know how to use it. So. My passion has been coaching and helping people have more opportunity. For quite a few years now, I used to teach English as a second language, and I used to be a coach in a business aspect. So it's just been a great fit for me over the years.
Awesome. So you've been around for a while on LinkedIn. What are some of the changes? Like you mentioned, it started out as a job platform. So as an entrepreneur, what are some of the changes that really work for us?
Well, it's growth is one thing. I mean, from the time I started 5 years ago until now, it's probably expanded 8 times. So from about 50 million to over 400 million. So that's significant. So your audience is a lot more savvy and a lot more engaged in the platform. It's also, as I mentioned, become a lot more visual. So and still a lot of people don't realize that you can use video, you can use PowerPoint, you can use a lot of images to help get your message out there in a very strong way. And another big development a couple years ago was that LinkedIn opened up its publisher feature. So as far as I know, no other platform offers you the ability essentially to have a blog as a permanent part of your profile. So still only 1 million of the 400 members of LinkedIn are using it. But it's been an incredible tool, and I just see it, continuing to expand.
Wow, I didn't realize. I mean, I saw people saying, "Oh, I published an article on LinkedIn," and then they would share it on Facebook, but I didn't know what that was.
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
I know.
It's another way of posting.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to see yourself and have others see you as an expert in your field and as a thought leader, as a person that has information of value that is being shared to the network.
Awesome. So that's definitely a feel. I mean, you said only a few people are using it, so it must be a good opportunity. And probably, I know LinkedIn is picked up by Google, so generating that content through LinkedIn probably has double benefit.
Yeah, and you're YouTube expert, so all those videos can be imported too. So I don't have a website, which is kind of unique, and I just operate everything through my LinkedIn profile. All of my articles, I have videos on there. My history is on there, so it's really a working conglomeration of the different aspects. You get some free tips. There's a lot involved in what can be done there.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I've been reading a lot about, the website is kind of going on the wayside. And I don't really use mine either lately because it's kind of, you have to point someone to it or something like that. And it's not really what people are looking for. They're looking for, where are other people connecting and interacting with you and how do you behave in that environment as opposed to, you wrote your own website and you puffed yourself up. So not always what, people are looking for when they're checking you out.
Yeah, it works for some people. For me, it just never made sense to kind of reduplicate your efforts and the information that's out there. So if people can get everything in one spot, it just seems like that's the trend. People don't want to have to look around for your information. And, that's a mistake that a lot of people make on LinkedIn in their profile is they don't include an easy contact mode of reaching them. So in my headline, I put my phone number. I hate looking through a profile where I have to go to a website or subscribe to a newsletter just to be able to contact that person.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing. Like, I've been to so many sites, you make a good point. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, you have to subscribe to my newsletter if you want. They're like, no.
Oh, I have enough of those.
They want to pay you. You don't make them jump through hoops.
Exactly.
Or people afraid. You mentioned you put your phone number in there. I found that I always put my phone number with stuff because if someone has a question, I don't want to have them to wait for an email for months. Like, I know it's frustrating for me when I'm in tech support or something and I email someone and I have to wait you have to wait 48 hours for a response.
I totally agree. It's like, to me, it means that you're open for business, right? So, why not put it out there? and let your clients find you.
Yeah, I mean, really, really good point. That's a very valuable tip there. So LinkedIn has grown.
I have 59 secrets, so I'll be sharing as many as I can with you. So
Yay, 59. How many? Well, we got 54 more to go. So a lot of people will say, like, oh, I've heard people say I missed the Facebook ad bandwagon, or I missed the YouTube bandwagon because it's already saturated, those kind of things. And I know for YouTube, it's not true at all.
Right.
And Facebook ads is just cranking up. What about LinkedIn? If someone as a professional wants to get started now, are they behind, or are they in the game? What's it going to take?
It's a great question. With 400 million people, you think, well, how can I, fit in there? How can I be seen in that crowd? Well, here's an important point. I'm going to lean into the camera. LinkedIn is growing at 1 million new members every 6 days.
What? Wow. Every 1 million members, I'm going to digest that. 1 million members every 6 days. Wow.
Yeah. So its growth is really propelling itself towards the ultimate goal, which is to reach a network of 3.2 billion people. And, very few people are aware that that's the case. So, if you do the math, it's about 8 times more than what it is already. So I see, again, nothing but opportunity on this platform.
Yeah, that's enormous. I mean, yes. There's that many people, international. Wow. 1 million every 6 days. That's incredible. Yeah. So you should be one of those if you're not on LinkedIn already.
I think if you're wanting to do business, that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened was that the president appointed one of the founders of LinkedIn as a global ambassador for entrepreneurship. That happened last year. So, the gospel of LinkedIn, if you will, is being promoted worldwide, and there's just a lot of opportunity for growth and expansion.
Awesome. So here I am, and I'm, say, Joe Entrepreneur, and I signed up for my LinkedIn account, and what do I do next? Like, it's there. People are saying I want to connect, but I mean, where do you go from there?
Well, I think you need a coach. I really do, because there's so many aspects to the platform. The first part of it is you want to optimize your profile. So every potential you have for adding information about your expertise or your background should be added. And a lot of people, fail to do that. So what's the point of connecting with a lot of people if they go to your profile and they find, well, there's not much there. There's no meat. There's no substance. I'm moving on, right? So that's the first element, and that's probably the element that most people don't want to do. Frankly, it's a little bit of a problem to go back and put all your certificates and your honors and all of that together. But it pays off, and you stand out in that fashion if you fully optimize the profile. The second phase is, once that's done, is you grow your network. And again, there's a number of strategies that are involved in doing that. You're adding connections, but what you're really doing, your ultimate goal is not to collect people, but to build relationships. And that's really true on all of the platforms. With my investors in real estate, we have relationships. So they bought multiple times from me. I'm continuing to look for properties from the people that I worked with initially 5 years ago on LinkedIn. So that's a perfect example of developing relationships from a platform where you didn't know each other before, right? And then the third part is this piece that I was alluding to earlier about being seen as an expert. So that's where the real juice is if you can stand out even among your peers on that platform, then business will come to you.
Awesome. So being seen as an expert on LinkedIn, that's kind of a lot of the whole visibility aspect of it, with video. Now, LinkedIn supports video now, which is exciting for me.
Oh, yes. Absolutely, me too.
I mean, it's just such a quick and easy way to get your content and your message and have people really get a feel for who you are.
Yes.
Just by creating now I say casual videos. Like we don't have to go out there and do what I call the Oprah effect, which is like I have to stage it and have makeup and hair and lighting and that's not what we need.
No, you don't need that. No, simpler is better, and if it's not staged, that's all the better because it just makes it more authentic.
I agree with that. So now LinkedIn has different levels. Like you have the free level, the premium level. What are you and what's the difference?
Yeah, it gets a little confusing and it keeps changing all the time. So I'm still mostly using the basic level, and I have for most of the time I've been on there. However, I do like, when there's an offer to try out the premium service, I do it. And I do find benefits. For example, on the basic level, you're seen by a very small percentage of your network, in pretty much when you do your posting. So premium helps enhance that. You're also able to use InMail, which is LinkedIn's internal mail system. And if you join premium, you have maybe 10 or 15 or 20 opportunities to send an InMail to any professional around the world. And it has to be a well thought out, well crafted message to be effective. But that's an enormous change in business. I mean, it's really a way around the gatekeepers, and it's been used very successfully to contact CEOs and CFOs and people that you normally wouldn't be able to have access to. So those are useful.
Yeah, that's huge, especially if you're dealing with a lot of corporations, and you're trying to get past that secretary at the front door, the executive assistant who says, no, you can't talk to them ever.
Yeah, so, LinkedIn, I see, has revolutionized business, and that's just one aspect of it. One other thing that I would say about the premium is that it gives you ability to see more of the people that have looked at your profile. So, for example, the basic membership gives you only the last 5 people. The premium service gives you the last 90 days of people that have looked at your profile. So to me, that's a warm lead, and it's an opportunity to follow up with somebody about why they checked you out or what they're looking for. So that also is a big advantage.
Wow, 90 days, that could stack up. Like I know I have people looking at my LinkedIn profile all the time because I'm not really active on it until we'll talk later. but it's I know I have my assistant help me, and we have anywhere from 15 to 20 people contacting me per week. Sometimes even more, depending on if I'm doing promotions or something that say they want to connect or do this or do that, and I don't know where I found them or they found me or
so for the person just starting out, the basic makes sense. You really want to use the basic to get to 500 connections, because that's seen as sort of the official or unofficial standard of being involved with the platform. When you have 500, it shows that you have 500 connections. If you have 501, it shows you have 500 connections. If you have 499, it shows you exactly how many you're connected to. So that's kind of a bar that I think people should strive to get to. It sort of legitimizes you, and then you can build from there. But the more you're seeing, like your expansion with all your videos and stuff is going to probably mean that you want to look more seriously at a premium level at some point.
Yeah, now does premium allow you to have more stuff in your bio, like more videos and more? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that makes sense then. Yes. Totally for that. So, how about LinkedIn? What about LinkedIn itself as a company? Are they making money? Are they making a profit? I mean, we hear a lot of these big social media companies just aren't turning the dollar. How about that?
That's a great question. You want to be on a platform that's viable and has a future, right? You don't want to waste your time. And so I feel that very strongly when I talk about LinkedIn, that I'm not leading people down a path that is going to go away at some point. I feel totally the opposite. In the last quarter, LinkedIn made about $800 million, so not too bad. And they're projecting almost 900 for the next quarter. So its growth is phenomenal. And who would you guess would be the #1 source of revenue for LinkedIn?
Well, I know they have LinkedIn ads. I mean, Is that any value to them? I mean, I know some people that are successful with it, but.
Yeah. Well, most people don't know, but recruiters are the ones that bring in almost half of their revenue.
See, I almost forgot about the whole recruiting, right. HR job seeker part.
Exactly. There's 6 million jobs listed on LinkedIn, so it's a huge. Again, it's a wave of revolution, and the resume, is sort of diminished in its importance because of platforms like LinkedIn. I mean, think about it. A recruiter can now see a person's whole social history and see them on video and see how they present themselves, as opposed to a one-sheet page of paper, that maybe a little bit embellished.
Yeah.
So it's totally changed that whole thing, and so recruiters see that as extremely valuable. And then there's the advertising, and then the premium services kick in also.
Awesome. Well, LinkedIn has my attention, and in the upcoming year, what do you see as an entrepreneur that I should be paying attention to at LinkedIn, and where do you see it going?
Well, I see it continuing to grow. Last year it bought a company called lynda.com. Mm-hmm. And lynda.com has, a library of 4,000 videos. So now you're going to see professionals with the ability to get credentialed through LinkedIn to add to their skill set, job seekers to, enhance their portfolio. And, I think that's a really important piece that LinkedIn has added. And I think that's going to do nothing but grow in the future. Not that will compete with community colleges, but it'll, I think, become a lot more significant. And additionally, for the companies that have more employees than normal, the larger companies, the company page is also going to be expanded, I believe. So I see a big opportunity once companies realize that the most important people to post to is their employees, because then they can send out the post. And if you have a company of 500, you're posting 500 times a day, perhaps. So I see it as an enormous growth area.
Yeah, that seems to make a lot of sense. I mean, I know I've used it one time as a reverse directory. Like, I wanted someone to sponsor an event. So GoPro. And so I was able to find the person who was in charge of event promotions and social outreach for GoPro. They were on LinkedIn, and I was able to contact them and see if they wanted to sponsor the upcoming event. So,
Good job.
Yeah, it was like perfect. And I was like, wow, that was pretty amazing. But so if I'm doing that, then other people are doing that as well. And I did not know about the Lynda thing. I've used lynda.com before for trainings when I needed to learn certain aspects of website technology and different things like that. So really cool.
It's been their biggest acquisition so far. They paid $1.5 billion for it. But, I think it's a key piece in what LinkedIn's ultimate mission is, and that is, to really have what they call an economic graph, where they have indexed every job in the world, every skill that's required for those jobs, and then every institution that can provide those skills. So it's an enormous undertaking. It would be the first kind of project like that completed ever. So that's how they're going to build to the 3 billion people mark.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. So here I am, and I have my LinkedIn, and I'm ready to go, and I'm working towards my 500. How much time do you spend on LinkedIn, and how much time should I expect to spend on LinkedIn to make this work for me?
That's probably one of the most frequently asked questions I get, because most people feel like, oh my God, posting, I have to create all this information. What am I going to write about? People are going to be interested. Forget all of that. I suggest 30 minutes a day. So, there's 10 minutes that you can devote to the different notifications that are happening within your network, the people that are looking at your profile, and those people that are, wanting to join your profile is another 10 minutes. And then those people that are sending you messages. So, some of those are spammy, although professionals that are on LinkedIn tend to recognize and identify them and report those kinds of posts very quickly. Mm-hmm. It speaks to the credibility of the platform. For example, It's one of the main reasons that I think even your small entrepreneurs should be on LinkedIn, is because of the credibility factor. If they don't know you, they'll go to Google, right, to see what you're all about. That's the best source of information, the best search engine. And if you're optimized on LinkedIn, it will show in the top 2 or 3 spots on your Google search. So, you know, it's beyond just the LinkedIn platform. It's an important piece of your social media credential.
Oh, that's a huge point, that, you know, if you have your LinkedIn profile done with the right keywords, as well, you know, it's another opportunity, just like your YouTube channel can be optimized with the right keywords. So when someone does a search, your YouTube channel can show up as a piece. So your LinkedIn profile, your YouTube channel, you know, your website, having all of that show up when someone searches for you is a huge, huge credibility boost.
Yeah. And a lot of people, you know, do a little bit of each of those things, and it really adds up to not a whole lot because it's all so diluted, right? So, you know, I only work probably with YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn as my total social media package for the most part. But you know, there's ample opportunity to get leads and create those opportunities where you can connect with that ideal client. And that's what this summit is all about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Attracting your ideal client. Now, does LinkedIn play well with other social medias? Like for me, YouTube used to play really well with Facebook and Twitter and all these things. And then Facebook and YouTube kind of had an out. And they took it away. So I can't like what is your thoughts on cross promoting? Say, for example, I create a great video on YouTube and then I want to share it on my Facebook and my blog. And should I also put that same content on LinkedIn, or, you know?
I do. And I find that most of my posts, I also post to Twitter at the same time.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, why duplicate that effort? LinkedIn allows that possibility. So I also use Twitter. If I can't find the contact information for somebody on LinkedIn, I'll go to their Twitter information and send them a message to ask them if you know, we can share a connection on LinkedIn because of certain interests that we share in common. So I use it that way. But yeah, YouTube, I'm developing my channel.
Awesome.
Glad to hear. And then I including those things directly onto LinkedIn, and the platform's very receptive to those. So.
Yeah, for sure. Good to know. I'm going to definitely take a look at the video part of it because I started to. And then, I don't know, I just recently had a baby. So I kind of stopped promoting for a little bit while we were busy. Not sleeping. But we're through that part now. Yeah, we're not through that part. Awesome. So anything else that you want to share with our viewers, something that they must do with LinkedIn if they want to make it work? Like, what are the musts?
You know, I think, first of all, you have to have a professional photo or a really high quality photo. It's the first thing that people are going to see when they go to your profile. So, you know, you don't want to scare people off at the very beginning. So an engaging, smiling, professional type of photo is, I think, essential. And then to go along with that, because after the photo, then people are looking at your name, and then right below your name is the headline. And the headline can contain many more characters than what most people use. That's the first thing. So there's an underutilization of the space. It'll hold up to 120 characters. And then the other part of that is that most people, probably 90% of the professionals that I see on LinkedIn, and, you know, and I've looked at tens of thousands of profiles, you know, maybe 20 or 30 even. And they're talking more about their title or their position as opposed to what they offer the marketplace. And so that change, that mindset change, needs to occur so that you put yourself more in the shoes of your client as opposed to, you know, your own perception of your title or how you want to be seen as a member of a company or that sort of thing. So those are critical issues.
That's a really good point. Position yourself by what you can offer rather than your title. I think people miss that because when you go to fill out your LinkedIn profile, it's like, what, classes, credentials, high school, you know, I mean, that was a long time ago. All of those things that you have to fill out, that you kind of get caught up in that, and you forget about what is it, you know, that I can offer to someone other than, you know, my long list of stuff that I've done.
Well, part of my deal is that it's exciting for me to see people step out of that boundary. So I like to, see people take on a much more true and dynamic persona on the platform, and that's a real thrill for me. So it's I think an important. It's a beginning step in my coaching session with a person is to talk about really what that is that makes them unique.
Awesome. Definitely the uniqueness is the key online for sure. Right. That the visibility point.
Yeah, and everybody is in a certain way. It's just many people aren't articulating it very well.
Yeah, they kind of get caught up in the trying to do what everyone else does. Like, well, they did it this way, so I should do it. But then that doesn't make you unique.
Exactly.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if someone wants to get in touch with you some more, I mean, you do LinkedIn coaching. Do you have like programs and courses and all that kind of stuff too?
Yeah, the best way to reach me is through my LinkedIn profile. My phone number is 561-716-4359. But you'll find a lot of free tips and a lot of information about me and what services I can provide and how and the ways that I can help you just by going to my profile.
Awesome. Let's go to your profile. And you have, for our viewers, a very special gift. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, for any of the viewers that respond to this summit before the end of March is a good date, or end of March or even into April, they can have a free 15-minute evaluation of their profile if they just get in touch with me.
Oh, sweet! That's super valuable.
That's a value of over $100. So
yeah, to have you check out your profile. So you'll check out their profile.
Yes.
And kind of give them advice on how to make things work better.
Yeah, and you can use that too.
I'm going to need that.
Happy to do it.
Awesome. Yeah, so sign up for that. And if you want the link below to get that 15-minute evaluation of your LinkedIn profile by Gary, the LinkedIn strategist, all you have to do is check out underneath this video here is the links for your free gift and where to get it, and also more contact info. We'll have a link to your LinkedIn profile.
Okay, that's awesome.
Right below the video too, and they can check it out. And anything else you want to add before we say see you later?
I just wish everybody continued success. I think there's lots of opportunity out there for everyone. It's a matter of opening your eyes and your ears and being attuned and just becoming a little more sophisticated in how you're presenting yourself in the market. And there's many experts that are more than willing to help accomplish that. So continued good luck.
Awesome. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for having us, or thanks for joining us today on the Perfect Client Attraction Summit. And we wish you well, and we'll see you on LinkedIn.
Okay, awesome. I look for you there. Okay, take care.